Each Maxis is a subsidiary of Electronic Arts, serving as one of its 4 major video game development labels. The company was originally founded in 1987 as Maxis Software, an American independent video game development company, and later simply became known as Maxis. Maxis is the creator of one of the best-selling computer games of all time, The Sims, its first major sequel, The Sims 2, and the majority of their later expansions. After much restructuring of development of The Sims series since The Sims 2, each Maxis released The Sims 4 in September 2014. Maxis Emeryville studio was closed in March 2015, consolidating development of Maxis titles to EA's main studio locations, where development of The Sims and SimCity will continue. Employees of the Emeryville studio were offered other positions within Maxis and other each studios. Most Maxis titles are simulation-based. Maxis founder Will Wright likens them to digital doll houses. Maxis has also released games developed by other production houses, such as A-Train and Sim Tower. History, origin and early acclaim. Maxis was founded in 1987 by Will Wright and Jeff Brown to help publish SimCity on home computers. Before then, the game was only available on a limited basis on the Commodore 64 due to few publishers showing any interest in porting it. The reason for this is because SimCity wasn't a traditional game that had definite win and lose conditions. The title went on to become, statistically, one of the most popular and successful video games of all time. The SimCity series has spawned multiple sequels and spin-offs. Following the broad success of SimCity 2000, Maxis moved from Orinda, California, to Walnut Creek in 1994. After such success with the SimCity series, Maxis tried various other Sim titles. Some of these attempts include SimAnt, SimFarm, SimEarth, SimLife, SimTower, SimIzzle and SimHealth. Maxis was also approached by companies to design business aids, SimRefinery is one example. The success of these franchises varies, but none matched that of the original SimCity. Maxis hit The Sims is the only notable exception. Maxis also released some non-simulation titles, such as 1991's RoboSport and the well-known 1995 3D Pinball for Windows, which was included as one of the standard system games in several Windows releases. Origin of the name. Maxis's name was derived from a formula suggested by Jeff Brown's father. Computer game companies should have 2-syllable names and should include an X. This is confirmed in an interview with a Maxis employee on a bonus disc released with The Sims. Macon Magic advertising The Sims 2 and also in early packaging of SimCity 2000 Special Edition. The interview also addresses a rumor stating that Maxis is named after 6am in reverse. Typically the time of day that a Sim's alarm clock wakes him/her up. The Maxis employee explains that it is just an interesting coincidence. An Easter egg programmed in SimCity 3000 displays the message, "Do you know that Maxis spelled backwards is 6am" on the game's ticker bar upon entering the cheat code Maxis in the cheat entry box. Another homage is featured in SimCity 2013. The moving truck company is named 6am, with a similar logo. Decline. After the immense success of SimCity, Maxis experimented with different genres. However, their new games, including the Crystal Skull and Simcopter, were commercial failures. They also acquired Cinematronics to create a game called Crucible and Full Tilt Pinball. Heavy losses and lack of direction led Maxis to begin considering acquisition offers. Acquisition by each. In 1997, Maxis agreed to be acquired by Electronic Arts by means of a stock swap which valued Maxis at $125 million. The transaction completed on July 28, 1997. Compared to other companies acquired by each, such as Origin Systems and Westwood Studios, the absorption of Maxis took a slower pace, and the company staff was lost only gradually. Over 1998, Maxis was allowed to finish SimCity 3000 on its own time. Following this, rights efforts were thrown into The Sims, at the time seen as a major gamble for the company, as the Dollhouse game was not seen as a match for the video game market's demographics. The Sims was released in February 2000. Its massive success buoyed rights' reputation and saved Maxis as a separate working unit. For the first half of the decade, Maxis continued to produce expansions and sequels to The Sims. In 2004, Maxis' longtime studios in Walnut Creek were officially closed, and the staff moved to each offices in Redwood City. SimCity 4 was released in 2003. It was the first title in the series to implement true 3D, as well as the first where Wright was not directly involved with work. Spore, hiatus, and revival. As The Sims became a steady success, Wright began to focus on Spore. With the spin-off of The Sims Studio, it was Maxis' only project. The 3 years between its public announcement and its release were protracted enough to attract use of the term vaporware by some, and upon its 2008 release, found itself subject to harsh criticism and the target of a consumer protest against Electronic Arts. Despite the poor launch publicity, Spore still sold 1 million units in its first month. Wright left Maxis in 2009. Maxis' only new standalone title until 2013 was Darkspore. During this time, Maxis.com redirected to the Spore website, then later once more to the website for The Sims. Throughout this period, the studio continued to operate in Emeryville. At the 2012 Game Developers Conference, each announced a new SimCity along with a new logo for the Maxis brand. Maxis became one of 4 primary labels at each, replacing the Each Play brand. Development of The Sims continued with The Sims Studio, which was reintegrated with Maxis in 2012, and Maxis branding returned in 2013 with the launch of The Sims 3, University Life, and SimCity. Each Maxis as a subsidiary, label and brand, now includes The Sims Studio, each Salt Lake and Maxis Helsinki, a studio focused on The Sims for mobile platforms. Maxis Emeryville studio closure. In March 2015, it was revealed by Guillaume Pierre that the Maxis Emeryville studio was being closed. On September 25, 2015, Electronic Arts announced that Maxis was reassigned to the Each Mobile division. However, CEO of Electronic Arts added that most of their future products would also be available for personal computers. Notable creations. Maxis is widely regarded for its innovative simulation games, in which there is no specific goal to the player, making its games almost endless. SimCity series. SimCity was Maxis' first release and innovated the conception of gaming as there was no specific goal to be reached, meaning that it could neither be won nor lost. In this franchise, the player is a mayor that may, at their leisure, take a city from a single village to a successful metropolis, laying down zones, taking care of the public services and stimulating the city's economy. The series includes 6 main games and 3 spin-offs. SimCity Societies, the 5th main release for the franchise, was not produced by Maxis, but by Tilted Mill Entertainment, being described as a social engineering simulator, and criticized for the lack of SimCity's traditional gaming formula. In 2013, each Maxis label released a new version of SimCity. The Sims, Maxis' most successful series to date and the best-selling PC game of all time, is The Sims. Maxis has developed 7 expansion packs for the game as well as an online version. Maxis released The Sims 2 in 2004, a sequel title that features a full 3D environment as opposed to the original's dimetric engine. From 2006, production of the game, its expansion packs and stuff packs began to transfer to Sims Studio, as Maxis started to focus on their Spore franchise. 8 expansion packs and 9 stuff packs were released for The Sims 2, the earlier releases developed by Maxis. later releases by both Maxis and The Sims Studio, and by the time the next major sequel was under development, Maxis no longer had involvement in producing The Sims. The third sequel, The Sims 3, was released by each in 2009, entirely developed by The Sims Studio. However, in 2012 an each restructure saw The Sims Studio reintegrated with the revitalized each Maxis label, and since the ninth expansion of The Sims 3, University Life, which was released in early 2013, The Sims franchise was back in development control of each Maxis, including expansion packs and new developments, with The Sims Studio operating inside each Maxis. On May 6, 2013, it was announced that Maxis would be developing The Sims 4. The game was released internationally in September 2014. Spore was released on September 7, 2008. Players create species starting at the single-cell level, and develop them into sentient life. The goal is for them to eventually gain the intelligence to create spaceships. The Spore creature creator allows users to create species for later use in the game. This is one of few Maxis games to feature goals on its plot, as the player must complete 5 different phases and reach the space-traveling technology. There is also an ultimate goal, which is entering the galactic core, a massive black hole surrounded by a powerful and hostile cyborg species called the Grox. However, the player can stay in a single phase as long as they wish, even after completing it. The game holds an 84 Metascore on Metacritic, indicating generally positive reviews from professional critics, which is tempered by the overwhelming number of negative user reviews, mostly relating to the game's unusually large amount of technical issues. Each game's confirmed the production of expansion packs due to Spore's financial success, later releasing Spore Galactic Adventures in 2009, as well as several spin-offs and parts packs, plus the addition of the spin-off of Spore, Dark Spore.